Richard, go ahead. Yeah.
Coach, I want to ask you about offensive line development. What's the toughest part about teaching freshmen zone technique and zone running scheme and zone running technique?
Well, I think offensive line play in general, okay, no matter what scheme that you're teaching is, first of all, you need to understand, the execution, you understand the job, and then how to do your job, all right, and then chopping your job, which is that's why as you look at offensive lines, it takes maybe a little bit longer for them to develop because, first of all, they're learning, especially young guys, they're learning something new. Maybe they did in high school, but it's totally different than anything else. So it is a day-to-day process. Our players, our offensive line are really being intentional in the meetings, but you really see the progress as each and every practice goes by.
What was the biggest role with the offensive line taking a big step forward last year? I mean, it was quite noticeable that the group came together and performed better.
Yeah, I think the offensive line last year, we started off, just kind of feeling our way as a group. From day one, they've been really locked in the meetings. They want to learn. They want to learn the different techniques that we're teaching them. And now it's, as a coach, it's your job to make sure that we're doing it with consistency day in and day out. And that's the hardest thing for any football player, is to be able to come off and just do everything. And they feel that they're straining, but they can always strain more. And as an offensive line coach, we always preach that. You can never strain enough, all right? You always play longer than your defender is what we talk about. And, just the day in and day out progress, it'll show as the season goes, no matter what level of football. You see it in the NFL. You watch early on, even like a rookie coming in, for example. Everybody says, oh, that guy's no good. No, he just needs the repetitions, okay, playing in the NFL. It's the same thing in college. We need a repetition. How do you get them? You get them at practice.
With Holland Pierce coming back, how valuable was it for him to return, especially playing a position like left tackle?
Yeah, I think it's valuable for Holland, all right, itself, and it's obviously very valuable for Rutgers University. But Holland has progressed each and every year. When he was a younger player, okay, he had some injuries that kind of slowed his progress. In the weight room in particular, an offensive lineman has to really do a good job in the weight. He's got to be available in the weight room. He had some surgeries. He wasn't available, and you could see it in his play. When he was in the weight room for a full off season, his play got better. And now for this off season, he was in the weight room. So his play is going to be better and better. He has just progressed to the point where, now, and he still has a lot of things to work on. He's obviously got the great size. He understands the game better. Each and every day, if you ask Holland, he's getting better with the technique. Some days, again, it's a little bit like an elevator, all right, with an offensive lineman, even with the experienced player like Holland, okay, that, you have some good days and bad days. You just have to make sure that you flatten those out, okay, and always progress each and every day.
How's Tyler Needham doing with his recovery? And
he looks really good. I mean, his foot, ankle, whatever, he was injured with, it was a dang shame. I hate to see anybody get hurt. And he rehabbed it. He's really intentional in the rehab. The trainers did a great job with him. He was always locked in the meeting room. He never missed that. And, beginning of spring, he's coming out, and he's got, like anybody, he's missed time. So how do you make up that time? You never make it up, okay? And he said, well, he's played before. Well, when you're off that long, you got to day by day. Again, you can't learn it or progress in the big chunks. It's step by step.
So what have you seen from the way some of the younger guys in the group are developing? Amir Stinnett, Taj, Dom Rivera, just kind of that group of guys who are taking the next step.
Yeah, the young guys are the young guys. And I say that. They again I try to get them to understand that every day can't be a new day. All right, we have to progress from what we did yesterday. So what we teach today is not going to be new to you. And them hearing, okay, the play call, they understand the play call now. When they were first here, they said they understood it. They didn't understand it. I mean, like you mentioned about the zone. I mean, you say, well, zones, this and that, whether you run the gap scheme, zone scheme, whatever offense that you run, it's new to those guys coming out of high school. Okay, so it's progression for them. Are they doing things better? Yeah. Are they doing things good enough right now? No. But that's offensive line play. And those guys, the young guys, are good prospects, really good prospects. Okay, it's my job to make sure they get ready to play. Now, when if you ask some players, all right, I mean, they just, if they just got here last year, they'd like about 2 or 3 years to get settled in. Well, today's football now in college, you got to be ready to go. So, we got to progress them faster than what they're ready to progress. How do you do that? Well, it starts in the weight room. Get a little extra lifting. It starts in the meeting room, all right. I have Alex Officer help me, PJ Barr, and Danny Dalton. I have a lot of guys help me. So they meet extra with the young guys so they can get them mentally. Because you have to be clear-minded and understand exactly what to do, all right, before you're going to come off the ball with any kind of speed off the ball.
I guess last year you used a lot of different guys early on, rotating, playing time, trying to figure out position, who's best at what position, kind of use competition, I guess, to fuel progression. How do you see that playing out this year?
Great question. I don't know. I really don't. And I'm not saying it in a sense, as an offensive line coach, I literally go day by day. All right. And you guys look at me and say, wait a minute, you coach a lot of years. Yeah, I did. All right. I never had a beard like yours, but my hair was your color. All right. Things like that. But it's a day by day, progression for us. And that's where, you have a little bit of ups and downs offensive line because the defense, okay, all right, they're going to challenge us, and we have a good defense, and that's great because any offense I've ever been in, any offensive line group I've ever been around, we've always been challenged by the defensive line, and that's what we have here at Rutgers. We have a good defensive line, we have good defense, good coaches, so we're going to be challenged, all right. So some days aren't going to be good as some. Next day should be better. Again, as you evaluate it as a coach, all right, you want to get better each and every day.
Reggie Sutton a tackle last year. He played guard earlier before the injury.
Yeah.
Is he a guy that can still move around, or is he just kind of fixed it?
I mean Reggie is a veteran, right? Okay, and I call him the Bruce Smith of the offensive line. He was Bruce Smith, a guy that's played forever, and he had some snaps off and things like that. And Reggie doesn't miss a beat when he takes some snaps off, all right, and doing that. But I don't question at all he could go in and play guard. Right now, he gives us a great opportunity to be a right tackle for us.
Time for 2 more.
Since we don't get too many opportunities to talk with you, how's the last year been since you've arrived, acclimating and kind of coming back to the college system, recruiting and dealing with the young people again? And how have things changed since you were here last time?
You didn't sound very disappointed when you said we don't get a chance to talk to you. I love talking to the media, always. No. One more time. All right.
How have things changed since you've been here and your acclimation from the league to being at the
That's a great question. I never, I didn't think it was something I had to get used to. I mean, I coached college football 20 couple years. I coach in the NFL 20. And someday when I'm finished, which isn't going to be today. All right, maybe if you ask some of the offensive linemen, they wish today was my last day. All right, after we practice, but I feel good. I really am challenged every day to come in. I enjoy the group I'm working with. I love coaching them in the classroom, teaching them. I love coaching them on the field. I really do. I coach these guys like any group I ever coached in my career. NFL, college, football is football from that standpoint. They do a great job of wanting to learn the techniques. I feel that, again, they will be the best group that they can. All right, by doing the training that we can. And you can say, well, you can train this way in the NFL, train this way in college. I don't believe there's a difference in training the players. Now, the progression, all right, of a player, all right, and again, it comes down to how many snaps did you have, all right? Obviously, college football players don't have as many snaps as the NFL guys. But again, okay, the learning process and the snaps is you have to have good training in getting those snaps. Some guys have a lot of snaps, but they weren't doing the training the proper way. And that's what my job is, okay, and that's why I enjoy it, to get these guys, to block people the proper way, like we've done in the past and other places I've been.
Final question?
Did I answer your question?
Yeah, and next week when you talk with us again, you can expound on it.
Yeah, let's do it tomorrow. Fooch!
Is it beneficial that they know the animal now? They know what to expect from you now, these players, these linemen? after
Well,
a year
it's
dealing
funny,
with
and don't print this. Are we on TV? No, we're not on TV, right? We're on cable, and somebody's cutting the cable anyhow. But when I first went in the offensive line room, and Jimmy, I don't know if I should tell them this, but I am. All right, you can mute it. They didn't know who the line coach. I didn't know I was going to be the line coach. I mean, I was here as a consultant, right? I was down in the weight room and lifting with them, whatever. And I told them that I was going to coach off the offensive line, all right? And you can ask Gussie, but everybody stood up and started clapping, okay, all right? And the first thing came out of my mouth, all right, I said, be careful what you wish for right here, all right, from that standpoint. So have they adapted to me? I don't know if they can ever adapt to me. I don't know because, listen, as the years go in coaching, we are teachers, all right, and it's listen to the corrections. Don't listen to the tone of corrections. Now, again, all right, when I was a younger coach a long time ago, okay, all right, I screamed and I hollered. A lot of times I go back, and even after that day, I'm like, I didn't even know what I was screaming about. Hollering. Now you kind of get, and you coach over and over again. This happened years ago. I want to be a teacher now. Sometimes you got to yell.